What is up, you sexy, big, sexy, amazing, wonderful world travelers out there? Judgmentalists, half of this team is bringing you a hurricane-type storm of action. That is right, dealing with hurricanes and the aftermath of hurricanes. And now the hurricane that is going to be Southwest Airlines customer service line, now that they've announced some of the new policies for seating. Here's your host there, Big Sexy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this is hitting your ear hole. I hope that it is good. I'll save my big story for a little bit later in the podcast. Tell me about this Southwest stuff.
So they just dropped this today, and I have personally not had a full opportunity to really dig in, review it, see what I think of it. But as you can imagine, the good friends over there on the Reddit are losing their ever-loving minds over this. So, as we've talked about in the past, Southwest has decided that, and I don't even know if this has an official date or if it's going to be next year or what the deal is, but they're doing away with their free-for-all open seating policy. That is going to be gone sometime next year, if not January 1st. I don't know. I'm going to look at this. Some of this is the in-depth field reporting that we're doing, where some of this you're getting absolutely as we get it.
They're getting away with you will now have to pay for your seats the way every other airline does it.
Now, there are some caveats to that. So, number one, what is this? Assigned seats for an elevated cabin experience. Seat assignments with different options based on the experience you prefer. And I guess prefer means I want to be cheap too. I want the best seat with the most room possible. Our lowest fare will still come with 2 free checked bags, no change or cancel fees, and travel credits that never expire. And the seat gets assigned to you apparently on your travel day for most people. So it still sounds like it's going to be a hodgepodge, maybe even more of a hodgepodge. But if you have status on Southwest, you're going to get a little extra versus everybody else. So
this is a status play.
Yes, and if it's desired, and of course we're live, so if you're watching us live and seeing this and drop in that if you want me to really dig in here, I can kind of give you the idea of what all this means. There right now there are 2 tiers of status that you can achieve with Southwest. One of them is A-list, another is A-list preferred. A-list is, you get a certain number of points over time, and if you want, I can look this up and tell you exactly what it is in my account. And you can get these points multiple ways. Obviously, you get points for flights. That one's kind of understood and a given.
That's the base level.
But one of the easiest ways, I think, to get the status is not just through points, or not just through the flights, but also through points. And you can get points using their credit card. And like I get points using their credit card just as much as I get points for flying. But I also make sure that I'm paying for my Southwest flights using the credit card, because then you get 5 times the points. Just like any rewards credit card, there's certain things that you get better perks on.
Right.
So A-list progress is either through flights, 20 flights in a year. This all resets annually. And the points for A-list, and this is what doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at 2 different metrics here. This is just for A-list. I have, and this is going into the next year, I have 34,823 out of the 35,000 points that I need. This must just be points from flights, because there's another number that definitely contradicts this one.
Okay.
So once I hit 35,000 points, which is going to be flying somewhere else this year, I will have earned A-list for next year. And I think that I have to earn A-list before it tells me what A-list preferred gets me or what I
Gotcha.
need
Have
to
you
get.
how many points have you done already?
So this must just be flight based. And you'll see why in a moment. I've got 34,823 out of the required 35,000 points. So I need to.
So technically you're only 177 points away.
I just gotta go get kicked off of a plane. Like I
Look
don't
at me
even have
doing
to
that math.
complete-
Me doing that math in my head.
Yeah. However, my companion pass, which is another thing that they don't seem to be changing at all, which is great.
Okay.
This must be the points I'm getting from my credit card, okay? Because the companion pass, you have to do 11 flights to get that. And basically what a companion pass is that my wife is listed on here as my companion. I've had companion pass since like 2019. And if I am flying somewhere, once I've booked my flight, I click one button and then it books her on that plane. And all I got to do is pay like $11 for a round trip, taxes and fees. So she
Nice.
basically flies free if she flies with me. To continue this into next year, I have to either get 100 flights, which I'm still only at 11 out of 100 flights,
Okay.
or, and this is where the credit card comes in, I have 123,367 out of the required 135,000 points. So that must be credit card points. And the other one just must be the flight points because there's no way that those numbers should be different. You know what I mean?
Right. That makes sense.
So,
yeah.
So I'm basically 1 or 2 credit card cycles away from continuing the companion pass, and I'm 1 flight away from and I don't know for a fact that my flight, the 19th, the 23rd, that was when I came back. Okay, so my Detroit flight is in here. So the next flight I go should put me over the top for both of these, although with the companion pass, which appears to be also coming from the credit card points, I'll probably earn that before the next flight because I don't currently have the next flight booked for anywhere.
Not flying anywhere just yet.
Rest of the year, I've got my travel is a cruise out of Baltimore, so no flight for that. And a lot of the gigs that I have booked are local or close. I'm doing a lot more private stuff, holiday parties, things like that.
Right.
So none of those have me getting on a plane. I'll probably end up in Florida at some point in time between now and the end of the year. I just don't know when yet.
If Florida's still there. I mean,
if Florida's still there.
Yeah, Florida's being hit
So now that
hard.
we've kind of broken down what it takes to get A-list, an A-list preferred, I want to say is like 70,000 points from flights. So that's like you're flying every week, which I was doing. I was A-list preferred at one point in time. I don't travel nearly as much, even though I'm performing a whole lot more because a lot of it's regional. Like even with the Rochester trip, we drove, we didn't fly. So if you are A-list, you can book, I believe at no additional cost, one of the extra leg room seats within 48 hours of the departure if they're available. Okay. If you are A-list,
so that's only if you're A-list.
That's if you're A-list. If you are A-list prefer, which basically means that 48 hours ahead of the flight, you can select your seat if you're A-list. Right. If you are A-list preferred, that feature, the extra leg room booking, is available when you book the flight.
Okay. That's so many tiers. There's so many status. A-list preferred, golden retriever.
Not on this airline. The gold and the platinum and all that shit's other airlines. They all do it different.
Well, I mean, Southwest planes don't have a whole lot of different spaces.
Although I think that they're gonna. I think that this implies that they're going to.
You think they're gonna buy new airplanes that have the luxury style seatings of a Delta?
No. Let's not get carried away with what I'm thinking here. But I think that they might lose a row or two of seats and reconfigure what they already have.
Okay. Maybe take the front part of the plane, take out the aisle seats, and make those two, or take out the middle seat between two seats.
I don't know that they necessarily do that versus, if they lose one row of seating, which is only 6 seats, they can open up a lot of space and a lot of leg rooms by repositioning the rows.
Right.
Front to back, not left to right.
Right.
There's also upfront standard leg room seats. Oh, it doesn't actually, this implies that they're going to cramp some of the seats near the back. Upfront standard leg room seats. Those are, you can get those if you're A-list at the time of booking, as well as the A-list preferred. So I'm guessing that you could pick as A-list a more favorable seat. And then if there's an availability within 48 hours, you can upgrade to one of the better seats.
Right. So you can pick. So there's the regular seating, the standard seating, standard leg room, which is just under cramped. And then there's the extended leg room, which is just on the other side of cramped. Not that cramped.
Probably,
right?
Yeah.
But the cramped seats, which are standard, are closer to the front of the plane, so that if you're A-list, when you book it, you can book one of those cramped seats in the front of the plane.
Right. Now,
in 48 hours, if it's available, you can upgrade that to a non-cramped seat in the front of the plane.
Yeah, probably. And I don't know. And again, who knows what they're going to actually look like, what kind of space is going to be there, what kind of readjustment will happen. Who knows? There's something here that says boarding benefit. And again, I am looking at a chart that only has A-list and A-list preferred. And you've seen the charts with like different levels. You can, when you go buy anything, right? Where there's like the check boxes that when you hit this tier, you get this. And when you get this tier, you get that and what's included, right? So that's what I'm looking at. And it doesn't have any of this listed for, it only is A-list and A-list preferred. So it doesn't, contemplate.
So I imagine if it's not on, if you don't see it on there, that's basic bitch.
It doesn't contemplate what might be available, if at all, to somebody just randomly booking on Southwest that doesn't have any sort of status. There's no explanation for what this means, but there's something that's called boarding benefit. And I don't know whether that just means that they're going to let the A-list and A-list preferred people board first. Who knows? There's no explanation of what boarding benefit means. Earning bonus. Once you hit A-list, you will earn points 25% faster. Once you hit A-list preferred, you will earn points 100% faster. Priority lane and express lane is available to both. I believe that's more for when you're checking in bags. You can skip the kiosk where you print your own bag tags and whatever. I don't know what express lane is, though. That I'm not sure about. It looks like there's who knows. Same day change and standby is available for both. Dedicated phone line available for both. And then this is the difference, the big difference between A-list and A-list preferred, which is not any different now. Free in-flight internet if you're A-list, preferred, not if you're A-list, and 2 free premium drinks, A-list preferred. And there are times over the years when I've been A-list preferred and nobody ever gave me free seats, free drinks.
Free drinks. That's rude. You would think A-list preferred, no matter what, would give you at least one free beverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the paying for Wi-Fi is fucking stupid in this day and age.
Yeah.
Like just make Wi-Fi available. It doesn't, just make it available. Or at least make it available A-list and above. I mean,
express lane apparently is at the security checkpoint, but I'm TSA pre-check, so I bypass.
Right, you already bypass all that shit. Yeah. Speaking of which, I have a feeling we're gonna do global entry before we leave. I don't know if we can while we're in Mexico. I don't know if you have to turn in your passport or not.
I've never done the global entry. I looked into it briefly before Egypt and got too busy to bother with it.
Right. When we get back to the U.S., we might. I'm gonna get it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna put. I know how much it costs. I'm gonna put that money aside, and when we get back, I'm just getting it done. I'm not gonna wait him and haw and oh, let's wait till this. No, let's just do it now. Let's just get it done and get it done. Yeah. So
yeah, people are losing their shit about this on
Reddit.
On the Reddit. Yeah.
I can imagine. We're currently looking at flights back to the U.S. for the holidays. We're looking to come back around Christmas time, just before New Year's, and then come back just before New Year's. It also reset our 6 month here in Mexico, so that'll take us into that we'll be able to be here till July, but we're planning on leaving in before then. Our lease is up in June, so
okay.
Yeah, so we'll should be back living in the U.S. temporarily in June, while we do all the paperwork and everything to get the visa to go to Spain by September or October. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we mentioned that Florida may no longer be on the map when we get there. That's because Hurricane Helene, I'm assuming that's the name of it. I haven't heard any newscasters say it, so I'm going by the way it's spelled, that it's Helena. Passed by, and we were looking at the map, and it looked like we were going to get hit, right? Like it was coming directly in our path. It was going to be a Category 1 when it touched down here. And here in Playa del Carmen, we got lucky, I'm assuming. No, I say we got lucky because Cancun, which is, as we know, is a 35-minute drive up the road, got hit hard, right? That city got hit hard. They lost power. 123,000 people lost power in Quintana Roo, which is the state we're in. But we didn't lose power. We just got rain, a bit of wind. We prepared, and then nothing major happened. Listeners, if you go to my Instagram, I put a post of me actually out in probably the worst part of the rain, at least, only because I was going shopping and I needed to gear up. Everybody's saying that the hard part was going to be today or tonight, or tonight as we were recording. And I started looking on the Doppler, right? I've downloaded the Windy app, and I see that no, it's gone. It's going away from us. It's already passed. I'm like, oh, that was it. Oh, okay, cool.
Live, local, late breaking, pure weatherman. The one you know, the one you trust, the one that's just as bright as all of the rest of them. Big Sexy.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in Playa del Carmen, the hurricane has passed. Once again, the hurricane has passed. Helena wreaked havoc upon the other coast of Mexico and is now wreaking havoc up along the eastern seaboard and the eastern coast of the United States, manhandling Florida like baggage at a cheap-ass airline. It is running through, it's getting everything wet like a prom date's dress.
Oh, yeah.
Back to you, Judgmentalist.
Oh, yeah. So here in Maryland, we're getting a little bit of rain, but that's about it. It seems like we might get the most of it this weekend because there are some events that have started announcing that they're canceling because of the weather. Stuff that was supposed to be outdoors. Don't know what that's actually going to turn into. I also don't have substantial or significant plans for this weekend, so I'm happy to keep it that way and just lay low. Yeah.
We had plans for this week, and then we watched plans get canceled due to the weather and everything. And there was one event that I really wanted to go to. There was there's a philosopher group here where they have weekly discussions on certain topics. And I missed it last week, and I was like, cool, I'll go this week. And then I heard about the hurricane. I'm probably not going to go out until the hurricane just to talk about shit. but they still end up having a group. But this week's subject was storytelling, and of course, I would say I'm a storyteller. That's kind of what I do. So I was really bummed that I missed it. I was hoping for that it'd stay canceled, and they would do it again next week. But no, those fuckers went ahead and kept it, did it, because again, we did not get hit hard here, right? So they just kept it. They uncanceled it, had the meeting, and of course by that time I was already
make other plans and
made other plans, which actually, in my opinion, turned out better because there was a pop-up get-together at a local bar that was just 2 blocks from me. So I went, and yay, I got to do my first karaoke here in Playa del Carmen. And I'm doing air quotes around the word karaoke because though this bar has a big neon sign that says karaoke bar, it is not. Right.
So what is it?
So there was a live band that was playing. And then I asked if they were having karaoke, and the management was like, "Oh yeah, yes, we do karaoke. Yeah, you want to do karaoke? We do karaoke. Great, we do karaoke." And waited, and I didn't know, like, does the live band stop and the karaoke start? No. Essentially, what I did is I went up and sang with the live band.
Nice.
Whatever music they had, and again, this is a Mexican band, and what they knew how to play, and they don't know how to play everything. So it took about a good 10 minutes or about 5 minutes to figure out what they knew that I knew that I could sing in that range. That I knew most of the lyrics of. Now, the good news is I know most of the lyrics of songs, but I pulled up the lyrics. We ended up landing on Hotel California.
Okay.
And oof, when I tell you that this band was rough, Hotel California has a very distinct and immediately identifiable first few notes.
Yeah.
Right. You hear that, you already know what the song is. It took me maybe about 16 bars before I recognized what song they were playing, the song that we mentioned that we're talking about.
Yeah, somebody was trying to tell you that you don't have to go home, but you can't stay there.
Right, right.
So I saw a band karaoke thing, live band karaoke in some bar in Chicago a long time ago. And this is what the design was. So I guess this was a cover band that could play pretty much anything. And I don't do the karaoke. I don't sing for shit. So I wasn't participating in this. It was never the plan, but it seemed to go pretty well for those who did. So you could actually pick your song. They had a teleprompter, all of the normal karaoke stuff. The only difference is that you've got a rock band behind you.
At the South Point in Las Vegas, they would do live band karaoke, and that was one of my favorite things to do because you really then do feel like a rock star with a live band behind you who knows the song and playing. This was not that. Yeah,
right.
Listeners, I love me some karaoke, and to do live. I got excited that it was live band, and I went up. I'm like, you know this? And they're like, no, I'm sorry, no. What about this? No. Do you know classic rock? I'm like, oh, okay. So now I gotta. So okay. So what are my classic rock songs? You know this? No, sorry, no. What about this? No, sorry, no. And the guy pulls up a big red folder and starts turning the pages. And so I said, let me look through there and see what you have and what you know. And I saw Hotel California. I said, you know Hotel California? And he talked to his bandmates, and they don't speak English. Right. Hilarious, because they sing in English.
Right.
But they don't speak it. Right. And so he tells what to play. And the guy who's the leader of the band is the bass player. And he's talking to the guitarist, and the guitarist is the one who has to start. And they pull up the song on their devices, and he turns open the book for his bass playing, and it starts, and I'm listening for it. And then finally, like I said, 16, 17 bars in, they kind of hit on the right pace of the song, the tempo of the song. and it starts to meld into something recognizable. And then by the time I joined in, it was what it was, and it went well. Like it was great.
Yeah.
Singing the song, the crowd erupted. A lot of the people I was hanging out with, they were there, were like they thought it was still just the band, and then they turned around and said, "Oh shit, Big Sexy singing." That boosted my ego up a lot, made me feel really good. It was a lot of fun. I met some really more cool people. We should have a crowded house this Sunday for Mahjong. If everybody who says they're going to come is going to come, shit, even if a percentage of the people who said they're going to come show up, we'll have a decent size this weekend. So we got plans this weekend. And then, like I said, the Hurricane Helena passed by us. Just got
what kind of room is in that establishment? Could I do a hypno show down there?
No,
too small.
No, it is. I mean, you could, but so the way it's set up is the band plays on the street.
Oh, okay.
Right. So imagine this is like Fremont.
Yeah.
Right. But this is one of the bars on Fremont that also has outside seating. So there's no car traffic. There's only foot traffic. And so the band is playing on the outside part of the bar. Then there's an inside part of the bar. There's a small stage space. You could probably do a hypnosis show in there. I mean, let's be real. Technically, you can do a hypnosis show anywhere.
True, but to be able to put,
but it's not a stage.
8 chairs together, like
yeah.
I've done them in a gymnasium in the middle of the floor.
It'd be tight. It'd be tight to do 8. Like you could probably do a good 6, right? But again, it's just a bar. It's just a bar restaurant.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of cool. Called San Luchos. And so shout out to Uncle Scooby who put the whole thing together. And it's funny. I was walking up and down the street looking for Uncle Scooby's because I thought that was the name of the bar. I'm all been up and down the street. I've never seen an Uncle Scooby's. Maybe I've just missed it, but I haven't really been looking for it. So let me look for it now. And I kept walking up and down. It said it was the 44th and 5th, which is where I'm at, close to where I'm at. And I'm walking between 42nd and 44th. With for those who don't know Playa del Carmen, the streets are broken up. Going from the beach towards inland, all go in even numbers, and then running parallel to the beach, all go in increments of 5s. Right. So we're essentially at 5th and 40th, and this bar was at 5th and 44th.
So 2 blocks away from you.
Between 42 and 44, right? So 2 blocks away. Again, I pass by it all the time. And it's the same bar that the second night we were here, I walked to, or the first night we were here, walked to, saw they did karaoke, inquired about when they did karaoke. And apparently they do karaoke every Tuesday and Saturday. And I have gone back every Tuesday and Saturday and have never seen karaoke happen.
Right.
And now I know why.
So the time that Matt and Donnelly did a show in Baltimore and then ended up out and about in the streets. And then I commandeered kind of a makeshift hypnosis show in the middle of a bar. And then he happened to walk into that bar. Totally random, no planning. He even came in through a different door than we came in through. That was a karaoke night that I was disrupting. And somehow somebody found out that I was a hypnotist and they're like, oh, you need to come up here. And they drug me up. And it was the thing that I thought was the wildest about it was I'm like, hey, can you play some trancey background music? And the karaoke person was like, oh, I don't have anything like that. I'm like, how do you not? You have a catalog of fucking music. There's got to be something that you can play. Right.
Of course there is. A good karaoke, you got to know he just doesn't know his music. I mean, the karaoke is perfect because no matter what you play, it's instrumental.
Yeah.
Right.
So
you got to find a slow, freaky, creepy song. "Where's My Mind" by the Pixies.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
See, look at that. Boom. right off the bat.
That's because Big
I mean,
Sexy,
to be
you're a
fair, that song has
professional.
been in my purview because of Agatha all along, but still.
But it's you're a professional. That's what separates you.
Indeed. Right. Speaking of which, this Saturday, the way this shit happens, I've been hired to host karaoke. Sort of hired. I'm getting paid with a shot of tequila.
Mucho gusto.
Yeah.
Muy bien.
Muy excitado. Muy I'm not excited. Maybe I don't. I have to read it. Anyhow, I'm excited. It started off by going, the social event is happening, and the guy who put the social event on asked for anybody who can help out with certain tasks. And I said, well, I'm going for sure. And, I'm a helpful person. Like, what tasks do you need? He put up 3 tasks. And the first task was to walk through the room to help people sign up for karaoke. And I mentioned back, well, as it just so happens, I'm a karaoke host. I'd be happy to help with that first task. And he's like, cool, okay, perfect. You'll, do this and that and whatever. And then I'll give you the details in a little bit. It took him a while to get to the details. In between him telling me that I help out with this, and him giving me the details, I had gone to that co-working event where I recorded the last episode.
Yeah.
After our episode recording, I met a singer and a fellow creative, Asia. Shout out to Asia. I give you her last name, but I really can't pronounce it unless I'm reading it. I don't have it in my head. But I'm gonna be interviewing her soon. She's a singer. I have a track on the Spotify's, and I was talking to her, and we just get to talking. I called her my favorite onion of the meeting because every time I asked a question, she answered with a new layer, a new thing that was really interesting. Like with every answer, something additionally interesting came up.
Interesting,
yeah. Oh my God, you're my favorite onion in this meeting. Every time, the more I speak to you, the more I want to know. Then I said, I have to stop asking questions because I'm definitely going to have you on the podcast. And I want to discover and be curious in one of the episodes. So guys, stay tuned for that bonus episode coming up in a few weeks or so. I'm trying to find her name because I want to give her a shout out. So it's Asia Gabriela Fioravera. Yeah. Fioravera. Fioravera. Asia spelled like Asia. The continent, country, all that.
Okay.
She, a singer, fellow creative, turns out that she got kicked off the karaoke task at the same event because I said I do it and I'm a karaoke host.
Interesting.
And I found that out during our conversation. She goes, oh, you're the one doing the karaoke that night. Oh, they kind of kicked me off that task.
You stole my job.
Yep. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was taking the job from anybody. But I said, if you're going, maybe we can work together and we can, we can co-host that or whatever. And then afterwards, he messaged me back and said, hey, can you actually host the karaoke? And then I'll help get people to sign up. And I'm on, yeah, sure, not a problem whatsoever. And then I ran into Asia at the grocery store yesterday during the storm, and in between the heavy rains of the storm. And I was telling her, yeah, and I'm going to kind of host it. She goes, not only did you steal my job, you got a bump in it. And I said, yeah, I'm sorry. I said, that's kind of what I do. That's what happens when Big Sexy hits the community. You want to help him out, then you see what he can do, and you give him, you raise him up, and it becomes a big one. So I'm looking forward to this Saturday, having a lot of fun at this social event. It's also the same guy who teaches line dance, so I'm going to plug into that community. I just got hit up by a guy who asked me if I teach improv, because I mentioned that to Asia. She said, oh no, I mentioned that to Jacqueline, the co-working event, and she said, oh, there's an improv group in town. they're on vacation, but I know when they get back, I'll message them and let them know that you do improv. And I just got hit up, like literally as we were starting this podcast, somebody asked me if I teach improv. And and he just hit me back a message. You're getting this live as I am getting this, if you're watching live. It says, we have a pretty house for tomorrow, but if you'd like to grab a coffee to talk about how to collaborate, that would be great.
Sweet.
So just like that, 1 month in, I am connecting to the improv community here in Playa del Carmen. Yeah. The last episode talking about building community. Your boy Big Sexy is doing the hard work and getting it done and getting out there. Really quick, I want to give a shout out to both my brother-in-law. Shout out to John, who chimed in on Instagram. Thank you. He said, I'm glad to see you're safe. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, while the people in the state, which I'm having to wrap my mind around again, being in the Americas, that Mexico has states and cities, kind of like we do in the U.S., that we're in the state of Quintana Roo. And then Playa del Carmen is a city within that state. The state of Quintana Roo got hit pretty hard from the hurricane, but our city did not. So we prepared for it, but we are safe and secure. So he said that. And then shout out to Susie, who said, happy to see your smiling, safe face. Yes, again, happy to be safe, happy to be able to smile. I figured we'd be okay. I think everything was saying that it was going to be maybe a tropical storm at most category 1. And where our building is actually pretty insulated from storm, right? Like we're on a basic street. We're in the middle of the street. We're not on the top floor of the building. Our floor is like right smack dab in the middle. Oddly enough, there's also nothing really underneath us, but the open quote unquote lobby of our building is covered. It's relatively indoors. There is just a gate blocking, but there's like we're insulated. Even our balcony, which we have a balcony that looks out into the street, is set back quite a bit from our sliding glass door is set back quite a bit from the wall of our balcony, and it's like a solid stone wall, right? It's not just like a flimsy gate or a piece of just wood or just glass or whatever. Like a lot of people's balconies are sheet glass.
Yeah.
I'm all, that's I can imagine that shit being terrible. Our friends who live across the street from us, they have some minor issues with water coming into their apartment, right? And they're on the top floor, so they have issues with water coming in. And some of the apartments we were looking at they have like a patio, but that just looks like a bathtub waiting to happen, right? That looks like if the rain hits it just right, that's gonna fill up. There's no real drainage, and that's gonna fill up pretty good. And that water's gonna find its way into the house. So we're very stoked about this place. Big shout out to Carmen, who's the owner of this property and our landlord. She's an amazing person. She's the one who sent us the first message about the hurricane coming in. Gave that, and then my wife lovingly shared that with all of our friends, and then it hit the news cycle. So we were able to swing out over to the store, pick up extra of those big 5-gallon jugs of water. We got a couple of those just in case, because we were told that if the power goes out, that can also make the water go out, right? We turned on make sure the hot water heater was running so that if the power went out, we still have hot water to at least for a couple of days to, clean our ass or whatever.
Yeah.
Make sure all the batteries were charged. I was upset at my wife a little bit, not enough to yell or scream about it, but coming over, leaving Spain to come to Mexico, when we were getting rid of bags and lowering stuff because the plane we took had less weight requirements for our luggage than the previous flight, so we had to dump like 2 kilos worth of stuff or whatever. And one of the things my wife made me get rid of that I tried to fight to keep, but she eventually made me get rid of, was a portable safety lantern.
Okay.
Right, battery operated lantern. Third night we're here, the power goes out in our apartment. And of course, I'm like, oh man, it'd be really good if we had it right now.
Yeah, that lantern.
Yeah. And then I was saying as we're preparing for the power went out, I said, what we should do? We should buy ourselves a battery operated lantern just in case the power goes. Oh, I had one of those. Yeah, man. Oh well.
Can't take everything.
Can take everything. So
That's for sure.
It was kind of fun to rib her about that. And she's like, never, no more lanterns ever in life. So man, but so again, shout out to Carmen. It feels good to be at a spot, that we can call home. And it's starting to feel like home. It really is starting to feel like home. I can feel my mental shift going away from vacation to resident. Right? Like in the last Airbnb we were in, one is an Airbnb, two, it has an infinity pool on the roof.
Yeah.
That overlooks the Gulf of Mexico.
Mode. That's vacation mode.
Yeah, it's hard not to feel in vacation mode, right? In that space, even though like we were there for almost a month. It still felt like we're there on vacation. This feels like a home. There's no special amenities here. It's just an apartment, right? Walking to the store. We host parties. Parties are going well. Yeah, it feels good. But we're making plans, and we can leave because we have a lease here, so it's our apartment. It's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Playa del Carmen was a right choice. It was a good choice for us. Oh, right.
I've been there once.
Yeah.
To the area.
It's lovely. It's lovely. I know that we're just passing through. You know what I mean? And we toyed around with the idea of temporary residency, but we're like, nah, it doesn't make sense. We're tourists, and that's a crazy thing, right? Even though we're feeling, like a resident, we're still tourists.
Yeah.
Right. We're still technically passing through, which is fine. It's great, but it does feel like a home, which is a good feeling, as it were.
I'm looking at flights since you have that spare bedroom.
Come on out, yeah, but yeah. It's not that expensive to get to Cancun. Actually, wife was looking at flights and she was noticing that flights to New York are cheaper from here than flights to LA. Right. And then she asked me a crazy ass question. She asked me if I wanted to spend Christmas in New York. That don't make no sense. Everybody knows I'm team anti-winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of Christmas, you should fly to Baltimore for December 1st and hop on the Carnival Pride for a week.
Yeah, probably not, because still
it's a cost and then another cost.
Northeast, still a flight, still a cruise, and still cold.
No, but it goes to the Bahamas.
Yeah, but it starts off cold.
Yeah, would you stay inside?
How about I just do this? How about I just meet you in the Bahamas?
Okay,
I bet a flight from here to the Bahamas is cheaper than a flight from here to Baltimore.
Well, let me see. Where am I on what days?
Yeah.
Can I even log into this and see this on my? I have an app on my phone. Yep, I'm logged in. Let's see. Plan.
Yeah.
Manage.
Right from
my booking. The problem is that these ports, you're only there for just a handful of hours.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing about cruising. Is you get a few hours, maybe 8 up to 8, 9 hours at a port, right? Depending on how long you port. Sometimes the ship will get there early, and you can disembark at 7, and they don't leave until 7 at night, so you might get 12 hours. But still, it's only not even a full day.
Yeah.
Definitely not overnight.
Oh, they've already changed something in my itinerary, it looks like.
Oh, what they change?
I think that my itinerary, hold on, maybe I'm just not looking at the full calendar. So I'll be at Nassau on December 4th. Nope, it's there. I just wasn't seeing the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 sea days. Nassau, Princess Cays, which I don't think you can go to without being on that boat or another Carnival boat because that's the island that they own.
That's the island
Freeport, which isn't worth going to. I won't even leave the boat probably on that day. And then another sea day before being at home. 66 days until that one.
Now, so I just checked really quickly. Flight from Cancun to Nassau is about $236.
Well, that's cheap.
$236 to fly from here on American Airlines from Cancun to Nassau.
But then you got to pay another that much at least to get back. Yeah.
I think that's let me look at round trip. Yeah, round trip. So about that, yeah. So round trip about $543 to do a round trip from Cancun to the Bahamas and back. Let me look at Baltimore. I know this is riveting podcast for all of our listeners.
Oh, they want to know because they want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody's looking to book a cruise, come say hi. I mean, this is totally shut it down recreational for me.
Right.
December 1st through the 8th.
It would actually be cheaper to go to Baltimore.
Oh, and you got to call up my boy Chris Lowry, our boy Chris Lowry. Get your ass on that boat. Let's go.
Well, let me see on December 1st.
All right, look. Attack the Patreon. Send Big Sexy a bunch of money. Here's the deal. If we can raise $2,000 in the next 2 weeks, this is what you get. And everybody gets this that's on the Patreon, whether it's paid or unpaid. Even if you just pay temporarily, even if you just Venmo and money, it doesn't have to be through the Patreon. It's actually probably preferred, and your money goes further if it's not through the Patreon. We can raise $2,000 in the next 2 weeks. Big Sexy gonna be on that boat, and we will do bonus episodes and podcasts from that boat every single day. You'll get a week worth. I will commit to a week worth of podcast episodes with Big Sexy and I, and probably interviewing random ass people, which is why not? Every day, 7.
Oh, that's what I'm good at. That's what I'm really good at.
That's like 6 extra episodes. And if you count the bonus episode, at least 5 extra episodes. And the $2,000 doesn't have to come all from one person. It could.
Yeah.
But you know,
I'll tell you what, and if you want to do it the Venmo route, it's very easy. My Venmo is at BigSexy319. Easy peasy, easy to remember. If you want to use PayPal, it's just at whoisbigsexy. Like my Instagram is everywhere. Yeah. Or you can go through the Patreon if you want to be sure to go to Big Sexy Digital Nomad. You can sign up for one of the tiers. You can do a one-time donation. You can also do a one-time donation with Buy Me a Coffee. We do have a Buy Me a Coffee account. You just go to buymeacoffee.com/Big Sexy Digital Nomad, and you can make a deposit there. I guarantee if you send me on a cruise, I promise you will get so much bonus material just for you. I'll do all the things. I'll create a parody song. I'll write a parody song a day in your honor.
Will. And a podcast episode every day was like the minimum. We're going to do at least that if Big Sexy ends up on this boat.
Yeah. Yeah, but you will force my hand, and I will be happy to be. You'll be paying me to be creative is what you'll be doing.
I gotta get my sister-in-law or somebody lined up to be a better gambler in these casinos on this ship, because right now, like, it's me, like the current, like I'm on this boat with my wife, and my sister-in-law and her boyfriend are on this boat. But the way that the reservations are set up is that I've got my comp suite where her boyfriend is technically in my room on paper.
Got it.
We have drinks everywhere on the ship. I've got $2,500 in free play. They're paying me to go on this fucking cruise. My wife has the next best offer. She's on this free, and her sister is in that cabin on paper. Now we're going to sleep in the beds in the rooms that you would expect us to, but that's what got us the best deal.
No wife swap within the family.
Yeah. Well, especially since the swap that I'm receiving is the boyfriend. So, it's no offense to those who are, there, but it's not for me, to each their own. You be you do you, boo, whatever.
Yeah,
so we
need that heterosexual
third,
male, probably not the roommate you would seek on a cruise.
But we need that third person to make that, because like we did the same thing. We used free offers with the Elkton Magic cruise that's upcoming, but that one I'm bringing the kids along, so it's my wife and one of the kids in a cabin. It's me and the other kid in a cabin on paper, whereas the kids are each going to be in a cabin themselves.
Yeah. Interesting enough, my mother got a free cruise. We will be going to. We're looking at going to a cruise in March of next year for the wife's birthday. Of course, I've mentioned that several times on the podcast. There's a whole group. I'll keep everybody updated and posted. She's celebrating her 50th, and so we're going to go to the Bahamas, I think. Right. My mom got a free cruise, and she's looking at where the cruises go, either out of California or out of Miami, right? And I know that it's cheaper for us to fly to Miami, which I got to look up those flights today to get that information back to moms, or to get to California and go out of Long Beach. The thing about the Long Beach cruise is we've done that one already, and I've never been to the Bahamas, and I don't think the wife has been to the Bahamas, so we prefer to go to some place we have never been before.
Of course.
My mom loves the Bahamas, so I'll be looking into that, and I'll keep everybody posted about that cruise that may be happening in March, which might affect my ability to go on the cruise, the Magic Cruise. Right now, what I may do is, because that Magic Cruise is in April.
Yes, 13th through the 20th.
Yeah, it's in April. So that may affect us being able to go on that cruise. But I'll keep everybody posted. Yes. Yeah, April 13th through the 20th, right.
April 13th through the 20th. Go with lisa.com/group/Elkton Magic. The more people.
Now, what I should do. What's the cruise line for the Magic Cruise?
Carnival.
I will check with moms, because I'll see if the Carnival line is on her list of cruises that she got for free.
Okay.
Because if that cruise is on that sheet.
Oh, it's on.
Then I'm there 100%.
And here's what we got. All right. So we finally got the approval for all the performers. And what the schedule is going to look like is we have 3 different 2-hour time slots for the performances. But none of these performers are going to perform for more than an hour, which means that we could build in a big, sexy digital nomad live stream within one of those.
That'd be amazing.
Using the 3 time slots presupposes that we hit the number. Because here's the thing. I'll do my show. We'll do 2 shows back to back. Like one of the performers will do a show, and then I'll almost like the way that we run Between Two Minds.
Right.
In one of the slots. We'll leave one of the slots entirely open to live stream podcast.
I love it.
Because it's all set up already.
I love it.
We have to get to the minimum booking number.
We got the minimum booking number. We got to make that happen. We'll see. You know, and who knows? Maybe if it looks like that's the route that it's going to go, maybe I'll even put together a show.
Yeah.
You know, again, I am a performer. I am an entertainer. And I do have a one-man show based on my character from Alibi that I have toying around with, and it would definitely give me a reason to flesh that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right. Let's see what happens. Let's see what's going down. So we got some options. We got some, you know, some things that may happen. But the best way that listeners to help make all of this a possibility is to swing on over to bullwiththebutthole.com, become a subscriber of the podcast, join our Patreon, join the community. Of course, you can join for free, but what we're talking about, you definitely want to join in one of the paid tiers to help us make all these dreams a reality. We 100% appreciate you guys being there and doing that for us. Yeah, shout out to all the people who joined the live stream, at least on Instagram. So shout out to John, Susie, Valkyrie, Amy, and Elise. Oh, Dreadful Dialogue. Shout out to Dreadful Dialogue podcast. If you're not listening to that, give them a listen. It's really interesting. They talk about horror movies and stuff like that. So once again, give them a shout out as well. But we appreciate y'all. Don't forget to swing by our merch store, whereisbigsexy.com, where like you're putting on clothes. I think I just added the new artwork there. So be sure to go check that out. And shoot us an email if you have any questions or you want to hear any particular stories, or you have a story of your own about your travels, or if you've ever been through a hurricane, actually lived through a hurricane. I want to hear that story. So send us a mail over at bigsexynomad@gmail.com.
Yeah, do it up.
We want to hear those. If you have a storm story, if you have a tornado story, if you have an earthquake story, if you have any natural disaster tales, please share that with us. We would love to hear those stories. So we appreciate y'all. Thank you. And in the meantime, safe travels.